Introduction. Art, culture, and diversity, along with its ultimate impact on society and community's standard of living, cannot be overlooked. As such, its impact on a society and its ability to redevelop and embrace a fulfilling way of life is a primary goal and a fundamental value that is emphasized throughout this proposal. The following proposal aims to address two concerns. While addressed as two separate components, they are similar in their procedure as well as the ultimate goal. The first topic addressed is within Wayne State's neighboring regions. While commuting to Wayne State, it is often students who come across Metro Detroit, most notably areas such as Livernois and Mack Avenue, which indeed foster a significant amount of litter and abandoned property. Many of the areas are surrounded with thick vegetation as well, discarded car parts, tires, metal sheets, and other forms of litter and garbage. The issue has been supplemented with a decline in population, as well as multiple social issues in the city. Unemployment, rising crime, along with financial issues in the city have also contributed to this issue. While it is important that we keep our university clean, it is imperative that the surrounding area outside of Wayne State, Metro Detroit, meets those standards. It is our belief that a good relationship between Detroit and Wayne State is crucial to the overall standard of living for the students and the citizens living within the scope of Wayne State's campus. Additionally, the second component of our proposal lies within Wayne State's property at the former Helen L. DeRoy apartment complex. The apartments are riddled with structural, plumbing, and sanitation issues, which led to the contraction of infections among students. A report had found that the cost of repairing and contracting the infrastructure of the apartments yielded costs greater than the cost of building new apartments. So the cost of repairing those issues was far greater than the cost of just tearing them down and building a new complex, according to a Wayne State spokesman. Sequentially, Wayne State enacted what is titled their 2016 to 2020 Master Plan, which included the demolition of the DeRoy apartments. As such, the apartments were demolished in 2019, leaving at least 200,000 square feet available. It is with that our group has proposed an initiative to display Wayne State and Detroit's artistic culture and diversity through art. To elaborate, it is our proposition that the unused space be utilized for an art project. As such, art encourages creativity and diversity, as well as improves concentration. Furthermore, the Heidelberg Project came into play. The Heidelberg Project is an organization responsible for bringing out Detroit's culture and diversity through art. Their mission is to improve the overall quality of the city through their artistic projects. The project believes that a community can redevelop and sustain itself after embracing its diverse culture through art. Thus, their mission is to transform a very damaged and vandalized neighborhood, suppose, into an area of a clean, art-infused location. So the objective for us really is to expand that art project specifically to neighboring regions outside of Wayne State University. This will promote sustainability in the surrounding community and promote the city's diverse culture. As such, it would be a great way to improve the surrounding area of Wayne State and at the same time improve the overall quality. With our plan to expand their project over close to the university as well as partner with Wayne State in aiding in an art project at the location of the recently demolished DeRoy buildings, we will be further aiding in their ultimate goal, while at the same time spreading an overall awareness throughout the city. In this next slide, we have a sample image of their project. If you look at that home, it was recently painted over. Scrap metal sheets, pots, auto parts, clocks, and other trash are utilized and turned into art projects. You look over at spare bike parts and other metal sheets. Sort of what they do. And next, we will look at the proposed program and further detail our plan.
Hi, my name is Travis Preston, and I'll be going over our proposed program for our final project. So it was important to break down our project into steps and to kind of clarify what our main goal was. So we want to spread awareness of community service options that are available to Wayne State students, specifically for trash pickup and kind of just cleaning up the area a little bit. So breaking this down into steps, we thought it was important to kind of wrap our whole heads around each step one at a time so we didn't get carried away with something before we sort of established the earlier steps, and just make sure we streamline everything in order to be as efficient as possible. So the first step was to create media and methods to spread awareness, things like flyers and videos. And then the second step was to use that media to reach out to new students and get all of our information and our research across. And then the final step would obviously be to get students involved into community service opportunities and organizations, and then making sure to keep up with them and stay in touch. So in order to create media, we're going to have to do a lot of research. We're going to have to do research based on where the community service is going to be done, what organizations, and mainly like safety, making sure that no student is going to get involved in a community service organization that is not well known, and most of all, not well known for being safe. And then once all of our research is done, we can start to make flyers. We already have kind of a sample one here, just to help get our information across, get our sort of contact info across as well. And also things like videos that we can post on the Wayne State news feed, as well as like orientation feeds and Facebook and things like that as well. So once all that media is created, we're going to get into our most important step here, which is actually using it to reach out to students, getting our information across, getting our message across. The end goal here is just to have a cleaner campus and make sure that students are having a fun time, sort of getting involved, getting organized. So it's important here to remember our target audience. We really don't want to be spreading this information and wasting resources on students that already know it, students that have already been going to school here for a while and don't necessarily need this information anymore. They've been around a while. They probably know of this information already, or they're just simply not interested. So we want to make sure we're giving this information to new incoming students, new freshmen, new transfer students, because we feel they have the most to gain, and also that they're probably more interested than any other audience that we can think of. So to reach out to this target audience specifically, we're going to be wanting to go to school events. The most obvious one is probably new student orientation, but also things like sporting events we think a lot of new students will be going to, and things like that. So it's also going to be interesting given the impact of the COVID virus. We're going to want to keep that in mind and probably try to keep our student reach out to things that are mainly online, things like Facebook, things like the Wayne State newsfeed, things like that. Because again, we just want to emphasize safety. We don't want to put anyone in an uncomfortable situation or anything like that. And the third and final step is just, obviously finding out who wants to get into community service and actually getting them into a program, getting them into an organization, helping them to apply if they need to. So we just want to make sure that we are available to anyone that is interested. We're planning to set up an email that people can reach out to us if they have any questions, or if they're already involved and they just want to ask us, anything and everything. Maybe students are already doing volunteer work, but they're not really enjoying it, and they want to find something new. We're hoping that they will always be able to reach out to us. And then any new students that come to us with an interest, we want to be open and available to them, give them our information, give them our email, and be there every step of the way so that they can get involved and get organized and start helping to clean up the community. So now I'm going to give it off to Dan Fawaz.
My name is Daniel Fawaz, and today I will be presenting the qualifications overview for Group 3's former proposal. The following section will discuss the qualifications of the team members as well as any outside sources that we aim to communicate with in order to achieve our goal. Team 3's proposed project involves community service work such as picking up trash in certain Detroit neighborhoods that surround Wayne State University. This section will look to highlight relevant information as it pertains to the project, such as past volunteer work and or completed community service projects. We'll start with the group members, and we'll start with myself. I have done food packing for Forgotten Harvest. I have participated in multiple trash pickups in my neighborhood in Dearborn Heights. I am a certified Arab American youth leader, And I also work in Detroit. I work on the corner of Werner and Dix, as well as commute to Wayne State, so I see all of the trash that we aim to pick up. Ahmed Beydoun. Ahmed has completed volunteer work with Arab American political action committees, along with participating in several food drives in his community in Dearborn. Sajib's role on the team was a researcher. His primary job was to gather statistical and survey data from students as well as from organizations. This was his role. Because of the prior experience he had in collecting data, one of his strengths was the ability to gather data from different sources and also managing those sources. Travis Preston. Travis is a computer science major and helped the group to do research and compile videos for the presentations of our work. He has a lot of volunteer experience, as well as experience organizing groups and planning events. Anthony. Anthony has completed volunteer work and attended many social events that promote helping and revitalizing the Metro Detroit area. He is an engineering student and has the ability to effectively analyze and solve tough questions and problems that the group may come across. And now we're moving on to the qualifications of our potential outside sources. The first will be the Hindenburg Project. The Hindenburg Project has been serving the Detroit community since 1986. One of the organization's completed community service projects includes the renovation of Hindenburg Street, located on Detroit's east side. A graphic depicting this renovation will be shown in Figure A. Another Hindenburg project includes the Art, Community, and Environmental Education program that was implemented into Detroit schools, and it has served more than 600 students. In 2018, the organization launched another school program, launch of the Hindenburg Arts and Leadership Academy in Detroit schools also. The Hindenburg Project is also working constantly to keep Hindenburg and the surrounding area clean with help of people within the organization as well as volunteers. And right there is some of their work. You can see how they redid that house. Qualifications of the outside sources continued. This would be the people who work with Hindenburg. Jeannie Whitfield is the CEO of the Hindenburg Project and has been for over 20 years. She is a Wayne State University graduate and is well versed in community service work in the Detroit area. Tyree Gutton. Tyree is the founder and director of the Hindenburg Project. He has completed numerous community service projects, both inside and outside Detroit. Some of these projects include cleaning up vacant lots on Hindenburg Street, turning parts of Hindenburg Street into an art display, hosting a street festival in Detroit, starting multiple art and education programs throughout the world, and constructing the Invisible Door sculpture on Wayne State University ground. It's shown right there in Figure B. These are just some of the projects he's completed. He's done so much more to help this community. It was honestly too much to list on a PowerPoint slide.
For Appendix A, we chose to study demographics of Wayne County. The first thing we tried to do was try and find an ideal target market. The areas surrounding Wayne State's campus include a wide variety of populations, so we thought it would be worth determining the average age and specific demographic statistics for the area in order to help find a target market. After investigation, the data pointed toward the 18 to 34-year-old age group for marketing and recruiting. After that, we decided we should probably come up with a solution to getting the word out. With many of our potential candidates being within this age group, we thought that flyers and social media marketing would probably be our best route of attack for that. And that kind of goes into finding techniques and strategies. We really thought that things like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and web page flyers would be our best way of attacking that. And then obviously we had to reach out and find a way to reach out to potential volunteers, which again would be things like Twitter and paying for ads and stuff like that. And then the below graphic is showing the breakdown. And you can see that the 18 to 24 age group and the 25 to 34-year-old age group make up a decent portion of the total age makeup for the area. And after searching on Wayne State's records for their population and age, we saw that 60% of students are between 18 and 21 years of age. So this makes it the ideal target for recruiting potential volunteers. Appendix B is a cost analysis for equipment and other resources we might need for our volunteers. The first thing we needed to do was determine our pricing. So we looked up many different things, including things such as like rubber gloves, face masks, trash bags, brooms, and etc. And we put together a chart labeling the price of each, and then came up with a formula for the cost per person, per volunteer that we would have. And it came out to be about $140 per person, which is a rough estimate, and further testing and investigation will have to be done. We also came up with a price chart for the second phase of our project, which was the art installation. And we found this to be much cheaper as compared to the cleanup operation. Things such as paint, paint brushes, paint trays, rubber gloves, disposable ones. These are things that are fairly cheap, and we'd only have to get probably one set for each volunteer. And then you can see this cost in dollars versus projects, and you can see that the trash cleanup part makes up a large portion of our projected budget. Appendix C references similar projects in and around Wayne State's campus. One of the biggest inspirations for our project was the Heidelberg Project. This project is a great example of what volunteers and a good vision for the community can help accomplish. The Heidelberg Project establishes a large area of installations that aim to showcase the success of all different cultures in the Metro Detroit area. We wanted to research how it all began, and basically it came down to a point where one guy had a great idea that bringing art and revitalizing an area could help clean up and bring some positivity to the area. We also wanted to look at the way that they budgeted the project, and we found it interesting that they had many different investors and that their website was set up to allow donations. We wanted to also ask some questions and do our own research on things that they might have done wrong or what we could improve on, and if it was overall successful or not. And we found that their project seemed to be fairly successful.
Hi, my name is Chanjib Das, and I'm from Team 3, and I'm going to talk about the budget and the planning of our project and how we're going to get started. Let's first talk about the plan and equipment. Cleaning up a community is reliant on volunteers. We will begin recruiting effort a month or more before the event to make sure we have enough support. We will use different methods to reach a wide audience, such as media and flyers. The plans we have for this project are date and possible rain date. Those are critical part of the project, and we will let the volunteers know through text messages or phone calls. And we also have a meeting location with access to restroom for volunteers. And we will also be outlining all of the work to be completed before the event and the day of. We are going to have a list of supplies and equipment that we are going to need in this project, and we also will have a schedule of events for the day of community cleanup, and we are going to post all the event and event steps in the social media. An important aspect of the recruitment and assembling a team of volunteers is providing them with the proper equipment and resources. They need to efficiently and effectively carry out their job. A cost analysis has been performed and to determine the cost of necessary and essential equipment for the project we have. The equipment that we're going to need is heavy-duty rubber gloves, which is $10 each, face masks, which is $2.50, heavy-duty trash bags, which is 50 cents, brooms, which is $15 each, dustpans, which is $7, and protective glasses, which is $10, hard hats, which is $60, and additional cost, which is $35. The additional cost we have is in case of emergency and unforeseen events. And the art project component of our proposal is different from the trash cleanup component because this part of the project requires separate cost of analysis. The estimated cost of expected essential item that will be used for the art project are a gallon of paint, which is $15, and then disposable paint smoke, which is 77 cents, and we have spray paint cost per can, which is $2.25. We have paintbrush, $1.48, paint tray, which is 99 cents, and disposable rubber gloves, which is 5 cents. It's not that much. It's really cheap. So yeah, the volunteers will be put on teams and given rakes, brooms, and whatever the equipment they will need to work in their designated cleanup areas. We are going to capture all those recycles and that would have been gone into the landfill or stayed on the ground. Our goal is to inspire other students and get them to join us in the project because it's our campus and it's our responsibility to clean up. It's a great way to giving back and showing the campus or the student that we care about the cleanliness and that we take pride in our campus and we want to maintain its cleanliness and appearance as best as we can. Thank you.
In summary, Team 3 will aim to solve two problems with their proposal. The first one being to clean up the trash in the Detroit neighborhoods that surround Wayne State University. The second is to use the underutilized former DeRoy Apartments lot by turning it into a community art project. We intend to solve both these problems with volunteer work, and we will seek the Hindenburg Project and its leaders for guidance on how to solve these problems.